Luigi's Mansion 3 was a very exciting surprise announcement in 2018, but since that initial reveal, the game has ghosted us, and we have no clue about when it's coming out, what exactly it'll be like, or really any other details. So E3 is absolutely a coming out party for Luigi and his ghastly friends, Gabe. I'm very excited to see what they do, and how they decide to move this franchise from the GameCube to the 3DS, to the new era of Switch, and will it evolve in the same way that other long-standing Nintendo franchises have?
That was a fantastic intro. Just want to let you know that. But other than that, yes, I do hope that we see a little bit of a glow up, to steal a word from the kids. Just the way that Breath of the Wild changed the formula by going back to the formula but expanding on it, and Odyssey did something similar. I want to see that maybe be what happens with Luigi's Mansion 3, because we know that Kirby and Yoshi have games on Switch now, and those weren't as dramatically shifted or changed in the ways that we would like. So there seems to be two categories that Nintendo's going with. Like, certain franchises they are elevating and making sure they expand upon and refresh and do a lot of really cool new things with, and then there are the more tried and true ones that they're keeping to whatever audience generally likes them. And that's one big question for this. Who is this targeting, Zach? Do you know? Maybe it's targeting just you.
I wish, man. Let us know in the comments down below what you're most curious to find out about Luigi's Mansion this E3. Hit that like button if you're pumped for the game like we are. Yeah, is this going to be something that we walk away feeling like, dude, this is our hardcore single player epic game of the second half of the year? Or do we walk away feeling like it fits more towards that Kirby Yoshi audience? Frankly, I think they'll go with the former rather than the latter. I really hope and I believe that this is going to be targeting older, more hardcore players. Will it be some super intense experience? Probably not, but it kind of depends what they decide to do, right? We've seen this game in its handheld form already on 3DS, but it hasn't been on a console since GameCube. So there's a lot of room for growth here, and there's been lots of discussion about, do they go with just a giant mansion? There's been talk of a hotel, multiple different houses. Could it just be a big open world that has a bunch of different places to explore? Like, what is the scope of this game? And do they take this 3DS title in their year of moving a lot of 3DS properties over to the Switch and try to recreate that exact charm and feel? Or do they expand in the ways that they have done with the games you mentioned? I think that's honestly going to be the biggest either or, and we'll probably know pretty quickly once they start talking and showing footage which way this game is trending.
Yeah, I can't wait to see, because I've played the original Luigi's Mansion, but Dark Moon, since, you know, my lapsed 3DS fandom because mine got stolen or lost, whatever. I don't have a 3DS. I haven't had one for a long time, so I skipped out on Dark Moon. I never got to play that. So for me, this is going to be a franchise that I haven't played in well over a decade at this point, and I want to see what they're going to do to incentivize people like me that maybe play the first one and not the second one. And just, how do you even treat this? Like, is it a sequel? I mean, yes, it's a sequel, but is it like a brand new thing, kind of the way that Breath of the Wild was? Or do you maybe, like, I wouldn't say the story is like incredibly crazy in these games. That's not what these games are, but is it better to play the first two before you jump into this one? Like, I don't know. Who are they catering this to? I mean, that's a really good question.
I feel like they will free it up to be just a brand new experience. You know, it'll be interesting to see if it retains Luigi's Mansion 3. Does it get any subtitle? Does it drop the 3 and just get a new name altogether? What do they decide to do with that? Obviously, the release date is a big point of contention of when will it come out. We've recently seen a Korean ratings come out, and that has led people to speculate maybe the game is closer than we believe. Could this be a summer title rather than a fall title? Would it fit in a August release window? Perhaps that would be, I think, a sweet spot for the game. And what does that then mean for who it's for and how they feel about it in terms of sales? I really hope, though, that it is bigger and better than what we've come to know. I really liked Luigi's Mansion 1 and 2. I will say that I feel like their gameplay is a bit limited in scope, and I hope they find ways to expand that. You know, Nintendo has done a lot lately to pack their games full of content, right? Let's take Super Mario Maker 2 as an example. It includes a story mode, it includes level creation, it includes multiplayer, and if you look at a lot of their offerings, they are very grandiose. So what do you do to make Luigi's Mansion 3 feel larger than life at $60 on Nintendo Switch. Is there a multiplayer component of sorts? We saw them riff on Luigi's Mansion in Nintendo Land back on Wii U with a pretty cool mode. Could something like that fit in as a multiplayer component? Will there be co-op throughout the adventure? Will there be other playable characters? How do they decide to handle all of that? I think it's going to be important because we are seeing so many Nintendo titles really beef up. And Luigi's Mansion, I think it's going to be fun and interesting to see how creative they get to elevate this one to the standard and caliber, the precedent that they've been setting as of late.
Okay, so there's a lot of little things here. One, you talked about, changing the gameplay a little bit, right? You said the gameplay was a little bit limited. I think that one really cool thing they could do is add some motion control. I know that I have personally done a big old U-turn on motion control. I used to not like it. Back in the Wii, people weren't super happy with it, and I know Wii Motion Plus was cool and everything, but now I like gyro in my games. So I feel like this game kind of lends itself perfectly to be able to be played in that way. And as far as multiplayer, there was multiplayer in Luigi's Mansion 2, so I can't imagine they would just take that away. I guess my hope then would be, if we are allowed to dream for a second, Zachary, I want online multiplayer. Super Mario Maker 2 has now shown us that Nintendo is aware that we want online multiplayer, and if they can somehow make it so you and I can play together, even if it's just a co-op side mode, it doesn't have to be the whole campaign. Maybe they still want to maintain the single player element of this for that, but right. Even a side mode where we get to do things together, I feel all that is pretty much assured.
Yeah, I really hope so. Dark Moon had local and online, so it would be a bummer if this didn't have some of that. I mean, now we know Nintendo's all about it, bringing online multiplayer to Mario Maker 2, so you kind of get to a point where it's like, hey, we've seen it, so now anything less feels a bit like a step back. And I honestly like the idea of challenge side modes for that multiplayer stuff. I really feel like that subtly makes the game feel a lot bigger if you can go and play the single player and then mix it up with something different. I really loved how Pikmin 3 had its campaign and then a really cool multiplayer that complemented the package so well. And I don't know why I'm bringing up Pikmin here. I think I'm just dreaming of that at E3 as their secret reveal. But you're right. There's a lot of options that they could bring to the table, and hopefully they do. And I honestly think the location is more important than it may seem. Yes, a mansion's cool, but a hotel, I don't know. It won't be this scope, but I was thinking about Dead Rising, and you know how that takes place in a mall, and it allows for so much variety and creativity.
Sure.
A hotel could have similar vibes in terms of just differences in different floors, different ways that they construct the areas to bring in that creative variety without needing, to have a huge, expansive world.
That's really cool. I mean, you brought up Dead Rising, and kudos for you, because that's a good idea. A bigger building, and it's not going to be a mall, but like you said, a hotel. That could be really cool. The haunted hotel is kind of a little bit of a cliche, anyways. Yeah. So I think it fits in perfectly. I wanted to ask you though. You mentioned release date, right, and the name of the game. October feels good. I know you mentioned August. When do you think it releases? Just to throw that out there.
I think this one's sooner than people expect.
Yeah.
I do.
October's such a good opportunity, though.
Yeah, with Halloween, it absolutely is. But I think that there's two portions to this. One, there is the rating that came out and does have, there's some credibility there. And also remember that this game showed gameplay back in 2018. Animal Crossing showed nothing. So I could just be, this could be wishful thinking, but to me, that indicates that Luigi is maybe farther along, in which case perhaps it is ready for a quick announcement, date, and release. And also, I just feel like of all the titles that they have coming, for better or worse, to me, I think that Luigi's Mansion 3, in Nintendo's minds, is the smallest of the bunch.
You think so? Well, yeah. I mean,
Animal Crossing bigger, Pokemon bigger.
Sure. Town.
I mean, Town's not really. I think it's a different category.
If Pokemon counts, so does Town.
And Nintendo has found success with their summer releases, so Splatoon
they have
2
more.
is
they have more.
But Splatoon 2, I think, is a nice example of where this could slot in and do well. I know they're not genre-wise similar, but I take that as maybe a similar release window. I'm eager to see so much. It's exciting because this game has revealed a bit, but there's just a ton.
It's been so limited, dude. What we have seen has been almost nothing.
Well, and there's just such a chance for expansion. They could come out and disappoint, right? It could come out and just feel like it's just Luigi's Mansion 3, but there really is a big opportunity to do so much. I hope the game is very tongue-in-cheek in a lot of ways. I hope that it does reference back things from the GameCube era, things from the 3DS era. I would love, I know Nintendo rarely does this, but they have become a little bit more friendly to this in recent times. Bring in other characters, bring in other elements, incorporate more of the Mushroom Kingdom into this game, so that it
in mansions. I can't put the Mushroom Kingdom in mansion.
Well, not the whole kingdom. I'm just saying, like, the creatures, the characters. We do see that shot with Peach and Mario and Luigi and Toad boxes. I don't know if they've been kidnapped. I don't know if he's just on the hunt for them. I don't know if they're going to be NPCs. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. We'll also have to wait and see if there is an accessory tie-in. I'm getting antsy. I feel like I'm itching for Joy-Con, literally, Gabe. My skin is scratched up. I'm peeling. And there are no Pro Controllers or Joy-Con on the horizon. So is this a game deserving of a new accessory?
Okay. I feel like whenever we talk about this, right, it becomes a question like, hey, does this game deserve a Pro Controller or a Joy-Con, right? It'd be nice if every big game got an iteration of either. For me, this feels a little bit more like a Joy-Con game. You could point those at the screen, and it has a similar shape to the vacuum that he uses.
Hey.
Luigi's Mansion 3 set of Joy-Con would be really, really cool. Some ghostly designs on them. That could be fun.
Yeah, I guess it depends how much they incorporate motion control, because I could also see this being a perfect Pro Controller game. We got to get something. They've got bundles still to put together. They've got, in theory, Joy-Con and Pro Controller. It's odd to me that it's been so silent on that front. But as we saw last year with the Let's Go Joy-Con, the Smash Bros. Pro Controller, something's coming. So which game gets what, I don't know. I feel like Pokemon is primed again just because the fan base and the sales potential to have one or the other. Animal Crossing also feels like a great candidate for that. People are all about the aesthetic of that game. Luigi could be the odd man out, but it's also an opportunity to just sell more cool stuff to Switch fans. And I think you could do a really nice custom Switch limited edition console with this, like a dark ghostly theme. Probably look pretty cool in the same way that they threw the outlines of Pikachu and Eevee on the back of the exclusive Switch backplate. Love to see some ghosts, some EGAD.
I was going to say,
Luigi.
Dude, there was a ton of bundles last year. I don't know if they're going to replicate that. I mean, it worked out for them. At some point, there was 5 different bundles. So they had the Pokemon one, they had the Fortnite thing, and other stuff.
And not all of them had exclusive accessories.
No, correct.
A few
but
did.
just
Diablo,
packaged thing.
Pokemon.
Aces was part of one of the bundles. So I'm curious, after the game comes out, how long before they start bundling these things. If the game does come out earlier, then maybe for October, since it is so perfect for the game, at that point maybe you have a Halloween themed bundle of some kind. They can do a lot.
Right. Well, it seems like Mario Maker 2 is skipping out on the accessory train, unless you consider the stylus that is coming as a pre-order bonus in other territories as an accessory. So I don't know, Luigi could get lucky and strike gold here. Let us know what it would take for Luigi's Mansion 3 to strike gold for you. Are you hoping that it has a bigger environment, a bunch of multiplayer components? Do you want there to be new kinds of gameplay, and when do you think it'll release? Let us know in the comments down below, everybody. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and are pumped for Luigi's Mansion 3 and E3. See what I did there, Gabe?
All the threes. So many
friends.
threes. More 3.
Wow.
Yeah, Bayonetta 3.
Splatoon 3?
Oh, man.
Not time.
Right.
Pikmin 3 Wii U port?
Oh, man. So many threes.
So many threes.
It's the third year of Switch. Dude.
3 weeks till E3.
Conspiracy
before
theory.
We figure ourselves out. We got to get out of here. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a fantastic day. For myself and Gabe, Switch Force, out.